Okay, people, this is July 27th, 2016. I'm going to show you something here. Do you see this? Apples. Bag full of apples. Another bag full of apples. That's a big bag of apples, people. There's a tray of apples. There's another tray of apples. This is what fell off the tree today. Andre and I went and got them. Just today, people. Okay? Here's my no-fail pastry recipe. It's very old, right? And here's some of my pie pans, okay? So obviously I'm going to be making pie for the next little while. Here's some blackberries that didn't get into the food dehydrator that I'm going to make a little bit of jam with. But I need 20 pounds of sugar, people, and I'm stressed out because I can't afford 20 pounds of sugar and canning lids. But I'm going to have to find the way because I'm not going to be silly and let this stuff rot, okay, when it can feed my family at some point in the future. These are the ones that are dehydrated, blackberries, dehydrated. This is the fourth jar of raspberries, which is almost full. The raspberry bush in the back is still producing fruit. I get about a bowl, about two-thirds of a bowl every 2 days or so. It'll probably last for a little while longer. You can see, right? And the rest is all blackberries. Hold on. And then, because Uncle John trusted in my better judgment, right? If you can see here, people, there's a lot of canning jars. And actually, some of these canning jars have lids with the proper lids that I need, so I don't have to go out and buy them. I think there's like 2 of them in there, full set. So that's perfect in a time of crises with no money, right? So this is what I'm doing, but I also want to show you what's coming. Hold on a minute. Okay, I don't have a screen here, so I'm just kind of doing this blindly. If you can see, people, I have a plum tree that's just infested with plums, okay? And they're already starting to fall off. Andre's been picking them, but I've been telling him to leave them alone. But it looks like some of them are already falling off on their own, so I'm going to have to come out here today or tomorrow, probably tomorrow, and start picking the ones that are ready to be picked off this tree, right? Because they're all over, people. Like, literally, they're all over, okay? And these ones, though, I'm going to mostly freeze, I think, with a vacuum seal bag, because I still already have some canned from last year that nobody really got into because I kind of hid them away and never really got into them, right? So maybe I'll do a few jars, but for the most part, I think I'm just going to freeze these ones. Hold on a minute. And then this kale, probably tomorrow or the day after, I'm just going to come out here, pick these things, blanch them, let them drain, and then I'm going to freeze it, right? Freeze it like a cooked spinach, right? Little tomato plants, they're coming along, but cucumbers are coming along. So anyway, yeah, this plum tree here, I don't know if I was taping that or not because I can't really tell. But as you can see, like these things are like everywhere, right? Everywhere, people, just everywhere. This is like a bumper crop on this one. And these things are ripe. I just stepped on one, it's very soft. So I'm going to come out here and grab up some of these and make them in with that blackberry jam. Hold on a minute. And this baby, once it starts dropping its pears, I'll be canning in juice. Okay, I'm always having to kind of align my head with things when I'm looking into the screen, right? Just so that, you know, I'm not like way up here talking to you. I'm more like down here, right? So this is what, July 27, 2016. As you can see, people, I'm going to be extremely busy for at least a month. I'm serious. And it gets hot up in here. When the food dehydrator is going, when the pressure canner is going, when the water bath canner is boiling, right? And it's like this every day, right? And it's hot outside. Everything's, you know, wilting and needs water every day, and water's evaporating from the pond out there, and so it's like a steam bath in here. So, but you see, again, this is why Uncle John loved me. This is why he stuck around me all these years, people, is because I was not afraid to put my hands in and get them dirty. It didn't matter what it was. It didn't matter if it had to be gutting a shed. It didn't matter if it had to be gutting a garage. It didn't matter if it had to dig up the dirt, pull out the weeds and the morning glory and all this other crap to make it so that you can plant ground, like vegetables in the ground, right, and whatnot. And you know, all these jars, the majority of them, if not all, I bought at Value Village, people. Some with lids, some without, right? And I'm glad I did, because now I have them for when I really need them. Because my grocery bill for this month, in terms of the whole month, where money is going to be spent specifically on groceries in the dollar amount of, well, I'll give you an example. I bought a 1 liter, which is about a quart, right? Less than a quart? About a quart, right? For American, 1 liter for Canadian. Of half and half, which is half milk, half cream, which I can use 3 cups out of that to make some ice cream for Andre. I would prefer whipping cream, but the corner store only has half and half. I bought that, and I bought a carton of eggs today. Okay? Tomorrow, I'm sending my daughter out because I'm tired, people. I can't walk. It's just too much for me, right? That's why I don't go to the doctor and those kind of things unless I absolutely necessarily have to. Because if I walk, it takes up a whole day, and then I'm whacked out for like 4 or 5 days later. Like, it hits me like 2-3 days later, and I'm just like, I'm whacked out. I'm just exhausted, right? So I can't afford to lose those 2 days walking to the doctor's office because I'm under pressure so much at home all the time for various different reasons. So I'm going to send her tomorrow to get me 20 pounds of sugar, right? And probably a couple of packs of canning lids just to compensate for the lids that I don't have, so that I can get up on this fruit and either make jam or make pies, which I plan on doing. Freeze the pies, and the jam obviously will go into jars, get preserved, which I may go even get some more blackberries just to make like a double batch, which is about 12 cups of blackberries. Right now I'm probably only at about 6 or 7 cups, if that, maybe 5 or 6 cups. I need twice as much in order to make a double batch of blackberry jam. Or jelly. Probably jam is easier and it's faster, right? Because the plums are falling off the tree. I didn't realize that they're ready, some of them. So some of those plums, to make it easy on myself, you know, but I think I still have some of that vacuum seal bagging, because technically I can't afford it, because outside of the 2 bags of sugar, I'm going to get 1 jug of milk, a few more cartons, maybe 2 or 3 more cartons of eggs, because I don't got Mr. Lace and the chickens anymore. And that's it. That's, and a couple of pounds of butter. That's it. That's it, people. That's all I'm buying for groceries for the whole fucking month. And maybe a couple of jugs of milk in the interim. And, oh yeah, and I like canned milk. I like canned milk because canned milk I can put in the cupboard, and I can stretch it out with the porridge for Andre and the tea for me, because I drink a lot of tea and coffee once in a while if coffee's in the house. But definitely tea, right? And that's it, people. That's all I'm spending on groceries. So at best, maybe $50 or $100 for the whole fucking month on groceries. And that will include cat food, which is another $20. Like that's pretty pathetic. And I'm behind on my bills. But at the end of the day, who gets lucky to have a full tree of apples, a full tree of plums, and a full tree of pears, and have the canning jars and at least half the lids, in terms of, you know, the snap-on lids, the ones that you need to use all the time, or new all the time. I mean, I consider myself to be very lucky in that department. Oh yes, and then I did 2 jars of beans. You can see already I've done 2 jars. The camera's sitting on the other jar, right? And the beans are still growing, so as they're growing, I'm probably just going to can them, right, versus freeze them, right? Because the thing about this is, even if you don't eat it within the first year, people, this will sit in a jar as long as it doesn't pop for 20 years. For 20 years. And if you put it away in the dark, someplace preferably cool, it's not going to lose much of its texture, right? And you can still eat this. Versus putting it in the freezer, if you vacuum pack, it will stay longer. But if you put it in just with a plastic bag and, you know, whatever, it's not going to stay as long, right? So for me, economically, this was a big bowl of beans. I got 2 big jars. At some point in the future, you know, mom, right, is going to make supper. Mom is going to make supper, and everybody's going to come up like the old days, because I don't cook for them all the time now because they're bigger, right? But one day I'm going to pull out a big jar like this, you know, 3 or 4 or 5 cloves of garlic, fresh garlic, snap them up, put them in with this, cook them up, and serve it with the meal. Serve it with the meal, people. Right? This is like 1, 2, 3, probably 4 cans, 3 to 4 cans of beans at $2 a can. Right? So we'll just say 3 cans of beans at $2 a can. That's $6 worth of beans, if not 8 by now. Okay, because I don't go grocery shopping that much anymore. So, yeah, 20 pounds of sugar. We're living in a depression. This is a depression. I don't know what kind BC Liberal government wants to sit up there and say this is a great place to live when you can't even really technically afford 2 bags of fucking sugar. But yet you got fruit falling from the sky. Right? From this tree, from that tree, from this tree. And you got the jars to actually do something with them. And you've got the canner, right? And maybe not so much the energy, but for my friends in the United States that are watching my videos, just understand that, you know, this stuff, I have to take care of my family. This is the only way I know how to take care of my family. I try and use what's available to me, right? You know, I hear, buy only what you need. Well, I only need sugar and canning lids. That's all I need. And out of that, I'm going to get $1,000 worth of freaking food. $1,000, people. At least $1,000 worth of food for a $40 investment. Right, in terms of sugar and canning lids. And then, of course, my time. Right? That's the backup plan. That's why I cruised Value Village and I bought those jars on sale at 30% off.